Welcome back, Jacob. I'm glad you're here. I know it's been a while. I've been busy, okay? The games, Rogue Invitational, life in general. So here's a life update video of where we're at with our property, and for those of you that don't know what we're actually doing and why you haven't seen very much of me. So for those of you who've been following along on our journey, you obviously know that I have a barn gym on my property, a really nice house. We sold it. We sold it like 4 months ago. It took 2 hours on Facebook. Gosh, I love social media. Sold our house on Facebook. We're now renting it back from the owners of the property until we finish up renovating this house here. The reason why we sold that property was like a house, a barn, and 10 acres is because what Kelly and I have always wanted to do is build our own house. Now, I know we're not building this ugly darn thing. We're renovating it. But one thing they're not making any more of is land and time, I guess. But I can't buy time and I can buy land. So we bought, we're still in the same general vicinity. We're still around Cobra Command CrossFit, but we bought 50 acres of land to include this beautiful nugget that we're gonna be renovating this house. We're putting a barn, a much larger gym on the property. And then the very back of the property is where we're putting the house I'm quote unquote dying in because I'm never moving ever again. So today I'm kind of giving you an update of where we're at, what it looks like, a tour of the property, and just have a good old-fashioned good time because I haven't done this in a while. I can tell I'm kind of awkwarded out by talking to a camera and all these cars are driving past me looking at me. So yeah, let's give a tour of the outside. So first of all, we got this really ugly chain link fence. I know what you're thinking. What? That's not ugly. Do you know my wife? She hates that fence. So we're gonna be replacing this chain link fence with a black, kind of a wooden material fence. And then we're gonna put a really nice gate right here, probably with our names on the top so everybody knows who owns this property, because that's important. And also, kind of the purpose of a gate is obviously, I live so close to a freeway, I need a gate there, I don't need people driving onto my property right off the road. I don't need that. So I need to kind of gain a little bit of a security there. So there's that. Next up, there's this really humongous tree. Kelly doesn't know this, but I really want to put a tree house in this, like Swiss Family Robinson style. Okay, moving forward. All right, so this is what we're calling Clown House for those of you that don't know. Clown House because there was a renter in this property when we bought it. He actually refused to move. We actually had to kind of the owners had to pay him to leave essentially, but he had a really kind of creepy clown photo in his bedroom, and it just kind of stuck, Clown House. Anyways, this ugly green freaking turd, we're in the process of renovating this. Just to give you a heads up of what it's gonna look like on the outside, this green color is going. There's no way we're keeping that green color. I mean, it is beautiful, I know. But we're gonna be taking the green, we're gonna be painting it all white, okay? So the house is gonna be full white, and then you can see the cedar posts are actually new. A couple of them are stained. You can kind of tell. These two are stained. I think they might need a little bit more staining, but they're getting there. This one's obviously not. So we're gonna be putting cedar siding like that on the sides of all the windows. They're gonna be stained a darker color. So white building, cedar siding. You obviously know I'm not really good at houses, and so I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, let's continue. So that's the front of Clown House. Okay, we got some painters here. And they are rocking out to some great Mexican music, which we will hear pretty soon. Walking. Bear with me. I tell you a really funny story, but I don't know one right now. Okay, so in the back of the property, there actually used to be, you can kind of tell, this part right here used to be a laundry room that came off in the back. And so we actually tore off the laundry room completely. And the purpose of that was, it was completely beyond repair, and so we had to tear it all the way down, and then it just wasn't worth it. It was really bad. The whole house was pretty bad the inside, but that laundry room wasn't coming back from the grave. She gone, she dead. So we tore that whole thing down. You can kind of tell, tore it all down, ceiling and everything. That's where it's at right now, along with a bunch of other in the back of the property. And so on the back of the house, obviously it's gonna be the same color, cedar siding, but we're also gonna be putting a big concrete patio. Kelly also said she wants a pergola. I had to Google what a pergola was. I think pergolas are expensive. But anyways, concrete pad, we're gonna be putting our hot tub back here. That's the 220 amp or 220 volt right there. So putting a pergola back here, I guess around the hot tub. I really don't know just yet. So that's the back of the house. And so if you continue on further down the property, which there's actually a gravel road over here. So if we take this gravel road here, Walk with me, walk with me. Let me tell you a story. Actually, first story. Look at this beautiful outdoor banyo, okay? You guys should come visit me. This is like the creme de la creme, the Taj Mahal of all toilets. Let's open it up. Beautiful, just beautiful. The house also has a 3-car garage. I know what you're thinking right now. Man, that is a really ugly 3-car garage. And you'd be absolutely correct. So it's got a 3-car garage on there. For right now, we're gonna leave it. We're gonna use it for storage. There's no reason to tear it down. I mean, it's got a concrete floor, but she's ugly, guys. She's pretty freaking ugly. So we're not gonna tear it down just yet. It works. We're probably gonna use it for a little bit of storage for right now, because we're obviously going from a much bigger house to a much smaller house. And so we need it for storage. But I think in the near future, we're gonna tear this freaking eyesore down, because let's get real. It's an eyesore. We're gonna tear it down and probably replace it with a kind of a prefab metal building, but that's probably in a couple months to a year from now. Okay, so continue along my gravel driveway. Follow the yellow brick road. So if we follow this, the whole property is kind of a rectangle horizontally. That's a kind of horizontal rectangle that kind of parallels the road pretty much. And so there's about 30 acres of corn and beans. They just harvested the beans. Now it looks really, really pretty. But that's a bean field that we own, that a farmer now leases land from us. If we follow this cute little gravel road here, la 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 la, la 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 la, we are going back to where the barn's gonna be at. And so the barn's gonna be 50 by 70. The barn isn't gonna be your typical barn, okay? Again, for those of you that know my wife, I'm not gonna say she's high maintenance, but she is. But her barn that we're gonna be putting in, it's literally gonna look like a stinking wedding venue. And you might think that's stupid, and you can definitely think that. But the concept is, I want a barn or I want a building on my property that can act as a venue for other things, right? It makes no sense to build and sink a bunch of money into a gym that can only be used by me for just working out. Like, I want to be able to host events in there, do things in there, and also I want it to look really, really pretty, and that's what it's gonna do. So, just to know where we're at, there's Clown House, there's the gravel driveway, and here's the pad for the barn, right? So it's kind of nestled in amongst all these trees here, and hay bales. And so we're putting the 50 by 70 barn here. It's gonna have a bathroom, it's gonna have an office in there, and it's just gonna be pretty much where Jacob goes and escapes, right? Also, for those of you wondering, yes, that is Royals Stadium baseball seats. How they got here, I have no clue. But if you want some, get a hold of me. We'll do a follow-on video, but the follow-on video is probably not in this one. We'll take this gravel driveway even further. Give you a good view. We'll take it even further across that little like ravine or kind of creek bed, and it'll go up the hill and onto a hill up higher, and that's where we're gonna put the house that I'm gonna die in, quote unquote. So it'll be kind of nice. Our property is gonna be Clown House in the front, whereas, you know, I'm not gonna live in that forever. That's for like 1 to 2 years. After I'm done with that and I'm building my house in the back of the property, I'll live back there, and then I'll eventually probably Airbnb this place out for, you know, the NASCAR speedways down the road or training camps in the barn. I'll essentially Airbnb it out or rent it out, whatever the case may be. I'm not gonna sink money into it and not use it. Anyway, so that's kind of the tour of the property, at least a brief portion of that property. Oh, are you dizzy? I'm spinning around. That's a kind of a brief tour of the property. Right now, they're painting the inside of the house. I'm not going to go in there and show you, but as soon as we're done painting the inside of the house, I'll put a different video up, and the Clown House Chronicles will continue. So, if you have any questions, if there's certain things you want to see, certain things you want me to talk about in this grand adventure that they call life and Clown House, let me know what that is, and I'll be happy to assist. Anyways, have a great day. Talk to you later.